So hi again, my name is Sandra, in case you missed my first video. My goal here is to show you how to stamp and to fill up in the gaps that I believe are out there with other stampers' videos. And the only reason I think there are gaps is because I am not a manicurist and therefore I can't assume anything. I need to be told everything when it comes to this stuff. So this video is going to be dedicated to actually stamping. So let's actually got the nail prepped and we're going to paint and we're going to stamp. So the first thing we're going to do is get out our stamp, and this particular stamp that I'm going to use is Uberchick, and it is Lovely Leaves 3. So the thing that you want to know, and I'm sure if you've watched any of these videos, is all of these have a protective film over them so they don't get scratched. After taking it out of the, and you know, if I have one complaint about Uberchick, their plates are great. I think they're reasonable for the amount of images you get. I think they're very well etched, don't have any problems getting the image off. They seem to stand behind their product. So I like all those things about Uberchick. The one thing that kind of irritates me is, you know, you're spending $14.99 on a plate plus shipping. And this is the sleeve that they give you. And to me, it's just a very flimsy plastic sleeve. And this is from Maniology, and as you can see, this is a nice cardboard sleeve with a little window on it. And I don't like keeping my plates in the plate holders. I think it's more economical just to keep it in what it came in. So I really like the way Maniology does it. I like the way Lantern and Wren does it. Theirs come in the same thing, a cardboard sleeve with plastic here. So they're great sleeves, and I just think that Uberchick should step up a little bit and forget about this flimsy, I don't know, it's not even as thick as a lunch bag cover, and give us a little bit better cover for our stamps. When you get these stamps, there's a protective cover over it. What you want to do is peel it off. Some of these are blue, so you can tell that, you know, there's obviously something over it, and some of them are clear. One time I got one and it was actually a clear cover, and I thought, oh, this is the exception. There really isn't. You don't really need to take the cover off. But it was clear. I really did need to take the cover off. Make sure you do that first. We've got our plate ready. The first thing that I like to do with these new plates is actually take some acetone and wipe them off. So I think what we're going to do is use something that you can see. Let's do this image right here. So this image, and let's look at the difference. So this image right here is everything that you see etched is just the outline of the leaf with the little teeny veins in it. So let me show you. So this one right here, if I do a black stamp on this, it's going to do the outline and the little veins, as opposed to this one, which is right next to it. This one, the stamp color is going to be this gray area in the veins. So what that means is if you did this one, you'd want to be conscious of what you're stamping in, because that's what the majority of the color is going to be. Whereas this one, if you didn't do any reverse stamping, the majority of the color is going to be the color that you've painted your nail. So that's nice to know and think about before you actually stamp. You may put a blasé color to start with as your base, and then if that's going to be the main color, you may not want white or whatever color it is to be the base. You got to think about that with these stamps when you see them where they have the negative and the positive. So this is another one right here, and you can see they give you one that the background is going to be picked up by the stamp color, and this one is the image is going to be picked up by the stamp color. So you got to think about that when you're stamping. So I'm gonna clean this off, and we're gonna use this one right here. So I'm just gonna take some acetone and clean off the stamp to get it ready. All right, so I'm gonna get my stamper out, the one that I wanna use. And I think I'll use my really wide one. And I need a scraper. So I'm gonna get my favorite scraper. And I like these little ones. I use this every once in a while, this Pween one that's really thick like a credit card. But I prefer this one, which is from, I believe it's from Maniology. It's a little thinner. It's square, it's perfectly square. Now I also have this scraper, which is from Born Pretty. This one is the same thickness as this one. It's longer. It's a little bit more, it's not square, it's rectangular, and I prefer this small one. So I've picked out my stamper that I'm going to use, picked out my scraper that I'm going to use. Since I got everything ready, now I'm going to paint my nail. First of all, I'm going to start off with a base coat, and I am a very messy painter. I'm going to show you how to clean up as well as paint. So I'm just going to do my nails here. I'm going to put on this base coat. Like there's something on that one. And on my thumb. All right, I have all my nails with base coat. Now, at this point, you can put on the latex paint on shield, so that way the polish goes on here and all I have to do is peel off the shield instead of trying to clean your nails with acetone. I don't use it if I'm using light colors as a stamp, because the light color is very easy to get the paint off. It's when I use the black stamping polish that it really makes a difference having this liquid latex shield. The real dark colors stain your fingers and it's a pain in the butt to clean up. I'm gonna wait for my nails to dry for a minute and then I'm gonna stamp. So with this particular stamper, you can see all the way through it, so you can see the image very well. And I also have my, just so you know, I also have my lint roller right next to me. So that way when I'm done with the stamp, I can use it to take what's left off the stamp. You never want to use acetone on the stamper. Since I'm going to use this black, let's take the Mani Defender while this is drying. And let's put this around my nail. One thing about this is you want to get it kind of thick on here, and any place that you get this stuff on your base coat is not going to take the stamp. So when you pull this up, if you had the stamp, if you had this latex on your finger where you stamp, then it's going to come up with the latex. So just be aware of that. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll get it on and then I'll just take tweezers if I see it on on my base coat and just remove it before I even start stamping. So when it's dry, you'll see that it kind of changes, it lightens a little, or actually it probably darkens a little, So you want to let that fully dry. And now I'm ready. As soon as this dries, we're going to stamp. So I'm going to take my stamping polish, and I like to turn it upside down and roll it. And this is actually the Pween stamping polish. If you use whatever brand you use in stamping polish, I found that they're different consistencies. Try to get used to do a couple stamps with the stamping polish that you get, just so that you familiarize yourself with how it stamps. I find that Queen is a thicker stamping polish than like Maniology. So I think you have to use less with the Maniology. But the Queen is really good, is a very good stamping polish. All right, I think we're dry. So I'm gonna take the stamping polish. I'm going to try to open it. And I'm going to put it on our design here. And I'm going to go like 3/4 of the way down. You don't want to skimp on the stamping polish. 3/4 of the way down. And then I'm going to scrape it lightly. Wipe off my scraper. And then I'm going to roll this lightly over the top, and you can see the image that came off on the stamper. Let's see if you can see it better this way. So it came off pretty good. I'm happy with it. I like my stamps so that when somebody looks at my nails, it's not upside down. So I'm going to put this stamp, I'm going to look through the back, line it up on the edge of my nail, and then I'm going to roll it all the way over to the other side. Now you get little fly things, and what you just do is push it down. So there you have it. There is a stamp on, and you can see the contrast really well, the black and the white. And it's just a leaf pattern. So now at this point, what I would want to do is take off, first of all, I'm going to take my stamper and I'm going to just lightly push it on the lint roller so that I take off all the stamping polish. Remember, I don't want to use acetone. And then I'm going to take my clothespin and my acetone, and I'm going to wipe off my stamp really good. And then I'm going to take off the latex. And what I like to do is just use the back of the tweezers to get a piece off. And when you do this, what you want to do is go from one side to the other. If you go across the middle, what's going to happen is sometimes you're going to get it to drag across the middle of your stamp. And that's not going to work very well. So you can see how it came off. And I'm just going to go all the way around. Okay. And then this latex will also come off with acetone. So, all right, so I have with the nail painted, it's stamped. And next I'm going to clean up a little bit because we were going to want to give it a little bit chance to dry. And then we're going to use a stamping top coat, which it's a special top coat so that way your stamp does not smear. So I'm going to get a little bowl of acetone. And I'm going to get my brush that I use, the cleanup brush that I got, and this is from Lantern and Wren. And all I'm going to do is, go around and clean up the stuff that's on my finger. You want to be careful. And what I do is, first I put it in the acetone, and then I wipe it on the paper towel because you don't want it to flood. Otherwise it'll just take off everything. And then go around your nail. And with this latex, the acetone takes it right off. And I usually get stuff on the back here, so I'm going to take that off. All right. Let that dry for a couple minutes. Okay, so I'm going to take my top coat and I'm going to turn it over and roll it. I'm going to open it up. When you use this, although it's made for stamping top coat, you still want to do it very lightly, and you don't want to brush it, the stamped area, over and over. So what I do is I put a decent amount on here, and then I just 1, 2, 3, and then you always want to do the tip. That's it. Now, what I usually do too is at this point I would let it dry, and then I would use regular top coat to seal it again. And you always want to make sure that you do the tip as well, because I think that if you do the tip and you don't file your nails, you will get a longer lasting manicure. So once this is dry, I would put this, I like the Sally Hansen gel shine it's called. And it's a very, very thick top coat, and it seems to really, really last long. You can get this at Meijer's. It says Gel Shine 3D Top Coat, Sally Hansen. That's my favorite top coat. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.